Badussha, shooting for GlobalSpa magazine, staying at StayVista Villas.
Hey Taha, it's fantastic to be shooting with you and congratulations on the huge success of Heeramandi.
Thank you very much.
How is it making you feel?
Well, I'm getting to definitely work with incredible people.
Oh, thank you.
So that's definitely a big opportunity, especially after 14, 15 years of hustle. I think that this is a blessing and I'm feeling very humbled. And more than that, I really value, it's taught me how to value everything that's come my way or is coming my way. So yeah, I'm just really grateful.
So tell us something about the struggle. 14 years, you just said 14 years of hustle. How was it?
It was, I wish I could sum it up in one word, but there was a lot of, there was a lot of obstacles, of course, but more than that, I think that besides the external obstacles, there's a lot of internal obstacles you have to start fighting after a while. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, still fine. Then once it starts crossing 8, 9, 10, then you start questioning yourself, you start questioning your belief, your faith, you start questioning your abilities. It's quite dark at those moments, especially when you're not really getting any opportunities of nobody wants you. They look at you and they just look at your past. Nobody wants to give you another chance. So yeah, I think the struggle is real. Even though I have worked with some incredible production houses that have been launched by Yash Raj Films, but even after that, it's taken me so long to actually be able to get recognized for your craft, for your art. So yeah, the struggle had actually taught me a lot of lessons that, and to be very honest, I feel that if I didn't have the struggle, or if I got success earlier, then perhaps I wouldn't value it as much as what I value it today, right? Because when you really earn something and you walk the path of fire,
Right.
You truly understand the value of one person messaging you. You really value when people are calling you from ahead and offering you work. First of all, the projects choose you in life, right? And now you come to a stage where you get to choose the projects.
That is so amazing. And it speaks volumes for your determination that you stuck it out.
More than me, I mentioned it many times, but the credit is not really mine. It's my mother's, right? And she didn't allow me to lose faith, especially when I did lose faith. She would always be the voice of reason. She would always be the one who said that, what are you going to do by crying? What are you going to do by feeling bad? What is in your hands is in your hands. What's not in your hands, you can't change, you can't control, right? So what you can do is that you can make a choice to get up in the morning and put in as much effort as you possibly can, hustle as hard as you can, and then one day, each day becomes a building block, and one day the house will form. So she was right, and it's again, being in Mumbai, trying to break into the film industry is not a cheap thing to do.
Absolutely.
Right, for your health, your classes, your fitness, your food, the clothes,
Right.
Everything has a financial tag on it.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of sacrifices that my family has done and avoided to do for themselves so that they could do it for me.
How sweet of you to acknowledge that. And they must be so proud of you now.
Yeah, my mom. Just yesterday we were at an event in Dubai, and my mom, my brother, my dad, they all called on stage, and she was just laughing away. She didn't know what to say, but you could see it in her eyes that that all the people that turned out was she was very, very, very proud, and not only I'm the first person from UAE to actually come to Mumbai like this and try and do something. So again, it's not my win. It's a win of all the people who have dreams who are outside this country, right? And I'm so glad that I could bring some little bit of percentage of inspiration to their lives.
So you're born and brought up in Alibagh.
I was born and brought up in the Gulf, yes.
Okay, and so how do you find the diversity in the culture?
in Gulf, and
Yeah, from there to here, how has been the change?
it was quite overwhelming, to
Really?
be honest. Yes, because sometimes over there you take people on just face value, right? Like in Canada, right? My brother said in Canada, he tried to come here, he just could not adapt. It's not possible.
Tough, right?
It's very, very tough, right? Because the mentality, the way people speak, the lingo, the dialect, what they mean when they say things is very different, right? There was a friend of mine who said that when you go to a meeting, nobody ever says no. Everything is a yes. But he's like, how did they say a yes? Was the yes going up? Or was the yes going down?
You have to understand how
Yeah,
yes is.
yeah. So that yes is a no, right? Or yes is a maybe,
So
right?
have you learned that out?
I think I have. I've learned it the hard way. But again, it's very, very difficult. When I first came here, I didn't know how to speak Hindi.
Okay.
Right.
So when you spoke fluent Hindi in Heeramandi,
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing years and years of my classes, so of course that work I put in. But when I first came, it was a real culture shock,
I can imagine.
and a lot of people over here initially, when you meet them, they're like, "Haan, bhai, ye kar lena, bhai, everybody's bhai." And you're just, I'm just like, why are everybody just saying this, Then you understand that the way things function over here is very different than the way you function with the Arabs or the locals or the people over there. Even Desi people outside function or talk very differently, right? So I had to change to mold myself into somebody who is now I'm completely now from Mumbai. 14, 15 years has definitely made me.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, so the adaptation took me a while, but I think I've managed.
So how was it moving from business to the entertainment industry? You were in business earlier.
It was not a very swift change. The transition was of course abrupt in my life, but when I first came here, I went to classes. When I started going for auditions, I used to go in suits.
Okay.
Alright, and I would have a suitcase in my hand with all of my changes. Right. So until I then got Yash Raj, the first film, and then I came in a suit to sign the contract. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Are you wearing a suit?" And I'm like, "Isn't this a professional thing?" And he's like, "No, man, go wear some shorts or something, come back." So then I had to change, become more casual, come back. Understand that the culture over here is very different.
Yes.
It's not a professional corporate culture, right? So I had to change myself in the dressing sense, in a lot of things. So it was quite an interesting change.
And when you first decided to get into acting, did you have any opposition from your family, or were they supportive and said, "Okay, go"?
My mom has always been very open-minded, and so is my brother. She was a single mom, right? So she has never actually ever said no to me, right? In whatever. Sometimes even when it's almost, she knows it's wrong, but she still wouldn't say no. She would say, "Look, I think that you should go out and experience it," right? But she's always got my back. And that's the best thing, because you're going out there and she's okay with you making mistakes and saying that you come back home and then whatever happens we will take care of it. So even after business, like we said, I was doing business for 3 years with my mom, and when the financial crisis hit, I was completely devastated. Right, here I was, dropped out of university to help my mom, because I was working day in, day out, and I lost so much money. I came here to help her, and I put her in debt.
That must have been very devastating.
Very, very, that when that happened, and like at one point of time, I had an LC of about 500,000 tons of steel, which was coming from Turkey. All right, and we had an LC by one of the biggest companies in UAE, but because the price plunged, he decided to cut my LC out. So I had 500,000 tons of steel lying in Jebel Ali freezer.
Oh my God! And you have to pay for the
pay for the stay, pay for the steel, right? And nobody's paying me, so I had to basically cut my losses And I mean, what cut losses? I made a big loss, and my mom was the one who jumped in. And she was standing in Jebel Ali free zone and she was getting the sales done. And, it's not her thing. But she had other things to look after, but still she came in. She's always solving the problems.
I can see you're a cute little mama's boy.
I'm definitely mama's boy, and I love her, respect her so much. I don't think I would be anywhere close to what I am today if it was not for her hustle. I can do all the hustle outside, but there's a hustle at home as well. There's a hustle in the background. Right. There's a hustle when you come over here and you get an apartment and your engine doesn't work, your gas doesn't work, this does. Either you sit and do that, or you go out there and you follow your dreams.
So she's still in the Gulf, or
she's in the Gulf. She's with my brother. She comes back and forth.
Okay.
Of course, but my brother's quite self-sustaining. He's married. He's got a child and everything. They're all well settled. It's me who doesn't really feel like a grown-up. Because I guess I'm always the youngest in the family and pampered. But no, I think that that everything has been not a smooth transition, but with the help of these incredible people in my life, it's fine.
So I should say congratulations, ma'am, for all the support you have given to him. It's commendable, very, very commendable.
Thank you.
So, how was it working with Sanji Levinson?
For any actor, it's a dream come true, right? Nationally, internationally, every actor wants to have one opportunity to do any role with Mr. Sanji Levinson. And then being considered for the lead is a different ballgame altogether, right? It's a different dream only altogether. So for me, it's always been since 2011 or 12, one of my interviews, I have the paper. They said, which is one director, if you had anybody to work with, who do you work with? That's just Sanji Levinson. Am I putting it out there?
You manifested it.
Yeah, no, I did. I think so. I started believing in manifestation, and you just put in the efforts or actions behind it, and then one day the universe kind of aligns.
Yes, absolutely.
So working with him has been a big learning experience. But more than that, I think he's an institution himself. Just being around him, you start absorbing knowledge like a sponge, right? And I'm an avid learner. I love films myself. Every part of it, everything to do with films, I love. So when I'm around him, you see that he breathes, or filmmaking is oxygen to him, right? All he thinks is that. Right? He's thinking about the next shot. He's thinking about the art, the production design. He's thinking about the jewelry. He's thinking about the clothes. He's thinking every department, music, right? Every department, he has nailed it, right? And you feel like you're just so far behind in life.
So we believe he's quite a hard taskmaster.
I think for somebody who has so much money running on him, he better be.
Right, that's true.
Right, and I feel that it's not a choice that I want to be a hard taskmaster. It's just that he is so exceptionally great that whoever is around him, he expects the same thing, right? So we have to try and live up to that expectation, and sometimes, most of the time, most of us fall short, right? But end of the day, he only wants the best for the complete product, and to make the complete product great, every single individual person needs to be great, whether it be the cast or the crew or the junior artist or whoever it is. Everybody needs to be great.
Tell us something about your first film. That was Love Ka The End, right?
Yes.
How was that experience? First time you actually managed to do something in the film industry which you wanted to follow into?
I was very naive. Of course, I didn't know at that point of time that there's a so-called launch. People get launched. I found that out much later after I got, debuted in my first film. There's a way to present somebody. There's an author-backed role for you written. There's so many things to actually put you out there as as an A-list actor, right? It doesn't just come. Otherwise, you got to go through the struggle of what me and a lot of other people are going through, right? So there's so many things that I didn't know. I was very blessed that within the 9 or 10 months that I came to Mumbai, I landed that role, right? But of course, shooting that with the biggest production house of Asia, Yash Raj Films, it was a complete shock initially that I would actually land something like this. And again, through audition, because at that point of time, and even now, many people just don't believe in auditions, right? And I have always said that through auditions, you can do it, because all my films I've literally got by auditions. Everything. There's not one thing that I've not got without an audition. So auditions do work. Of course, if the auditions don't come to you, you have to go to these auditions, right? So that is your hustle. But again, coming back to luck at the end, of course, facing the camera for the first time, working with Shraddha for the first time, working with Adi sir or Bumpy, it was a very lovely experience. But more than that, when I look at it in retrospect, I think that it really made me who I am, because like I said, I didn't know so many things, and once I was shooting that film, I understood a lot of things that, whether it be the camera, whether it be just in general production, filmmaking in general, right? When you're on set or you're on floor, you learn much more. So I think being launched by Yash Raj has been again another dream for anybody. So just Luck at the End has been the closest film to my heart, because it brought me into the industry. And I think it just kind of started my path to where I want to be.
So, what has been the most challenging role you've played so far?
Challenging role? I would have to say different challenges in each film, to be very honest. Like let's say there was a project which I did called Taj, in which I played Murad, and he was an impulsive, aggressive, rule breaker, but it all rooted. Initially, it wasn't written that way. When I discussed with the director, then I made it that way. But it was all rooted in not being accepted by his father, right? So he just basically wanted his father to love him. Right? And he was doing everything that his father would think that a son should do. Then why aren't you giving him the love? Right? And I believe that when you find that emotion and you root every scene from that emotion, then you come up with some magic in certain moments. So Murad, because I had to, of course, I had to learn axe, sword, horse riding. The dialect again was Urdu. The body language is very different. So of course, Murad was definitely one of the most challenging characters. The other one I would have to say would be Ranchi Diaries. I don't know if you heard of that film, but this film was produced by Anupam Kher.
Okay.
And in this one, I had to learn the dialect that they speak in Ranchi, right? And a little bit of Bhojpuri kind of mixed. So I had to completely change myself for somebody who couldn't speak Hindi, to be able to speak this dialect and change his voice, change his tone, change his intonation, change his body language. I was called Tinku in that.
Okay.
And I was a person who thought he was like a he used to make chow mein on the road.
Interesting.
Right, and he would that would be in the night, but in the daytime he would act like he's the godfather. So all the kids would come to him and complain, and then he would like go and teach other lessons to the kids or the college kids, whatever, right? Until he then gets caught up in a bank heist, right? And just things like that. So complete comedy, real messed up situation that they all fall into. So it was. I really took like 3 months of training for that. Then I went 10 days in Ranchi before the shoot started, and I was every day I was cooking chow mein on the road.
Oh, you were cooking chow mein actually.
Yeah. We did that. So those things are. I mean, that's the fun of acting.
Yes.
That is the fun of acting.
The pre-workshops and the work that you have to do, it's important. So tell us, what wellness practices do you follow to keep yourself mentally and physically fit? I think mental fitness is very important in the industry that you are in.
I think mental fitness is important, I guess, anywhere nowadays, right? Definitely very required in our field, where you get a rejection on every day almost, right? My only thing is very simple. My complete therapy is waking up early in the morning and investing almost 3 to 4 hours every day in my classes, in my training, sweating it out. That's my motto. You feel bad, sweat it out. You feel good, sweat it out. Right? Keep sweating it out, because once you do, and I'm not, when I say sweat it out, I mean profusely, just like hard, sweat it out. Right? Every day. Right?
How much do you, what is the amount of training that you do every day?
Now it's about 4 hours.
4 hours?
4 hours, yeah.
Every day?
Every day.
What do you do?
Now, I guess I'll start off with about 30 minutes of warm up, which is running about 2 kilometers, and there's a certain bit of jumps, something like that. So your body is completely warmed up. Then I do about 45 minutes of stretching. Right, so that's another 1.5 hours, and then I do about an hour of, let's say, some days, every day is different. Let's say one day is 1 hour of gymnastics, so that's already 2.5 hours done. And then we go back and we do, let's say, either gym or dance class.
Wow.
Right, immediately after, because I don't like to have shower twice a day. Like, bro, एक बार खत्म कर देते हैं भाई, पसीना आ रहा है, अभी थोड़ा काम कर लेते हैं life में. So it's one day, one time morning, and the best time is morning, because when I start off at 8 o'clock, I don't know how it becomes 12, and I'm completely energetic, right? But if I do it in the evening, then I feel like if I start at 6, 7 बजे 8 बजे हाँ ठीक है हो गया बस अभी कर जाते हैं. But that's why I like to take it off in the morning, so that I can work out much longer. And of course, it's more difficult to gather the strength in the morning, and I think that also makes me mentally strong. Because you have to kick yourself off the bed. You have to get up and trust me, I don't feel like doing it every day. I don't feel like doing it, but I still get up and I still do it. I use the Mel Robbins method at times, where they count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right, and then on one day you just get up. It's the Mel Robbins method, yeah.
4 hours? Wow. I do 45 minutes and I feel to my all achievement career. This is my motivation now. So do you have any favorite quote or mantra that motivates you?
So many quotes. I'll give you a few. Pain is temporary, glory is forever.
Wow, nice.
If you can dream it, then you can achieve it, by Walt Disney.
Nice.
Don't rest in the middle, rest at the end, Kobe Bryant.
Wow, nice, very nice.
And, there's a lot of quotes. Of course, then there's movie quotes that I have, that life is not all sunshine and rainbows, right? About from Rocky Balboa, right? It's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's what life is about. That's what winning is about. So yes,
you have lots of motivation.
Yeah. I have a big wall of my idols.
Wow. So what is new? What's the new projects that you're working on?
I have a few things that I'm actually trying to get started now. I guess in August. I think I want to start off with a romantic film.
Oh, nice.
The audience has accepted me in romantic. So I think that it's better to give the audience what they want initially, and then diversify, or at least do 2 films romance and then do 1. Then I guess. So I think it's a bit of a balancing game right now. So I've gotten offers for thrillers. I've gotten offers for supernatural. I've gotten offers for horror, I've gotten offers for military, but I feel that all in its own place. But romance.
I guess the next one should be a nice, soft, cute, romantic story. Would be good, yeah. So, what was the first extravagant purchase you made after you got your first paycheck?
I give my checks to my mom.
I was expecting this answer.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm not joking. I was very sure it would have something to do with your mom.
Yeah.
Which is so cute. Which is so
I don't have extravagant expenditure. I don't buy stuff. Actually, I'm not a materialistic person. Most of my money goes into classes.
okay.
And when it comes to classes, I never look at the money. When it comes to like buying a shirt, buying something like this, then I think 100 times. Like, you know, but when it comes to like, ये class करना है, कितना भी पैसा हो, मुझे सीखना है. So as far as classes are concerned, all my money, whatever I get, is always spent on classes.
To bettering yourself. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So, what advice would you give to aspiring actors who are trying to break into this film industry?
My advice is very different. I don't know if people should follow that or not. I mean, I believe that you should sacrifice a lot of stuff. Okay, I don't have friends. The reason of not having friends is, of course, I've been betrayed, and I think all that is fine, all that is great, everybody happens in their life. But end of the day, there's only that much amount of time. It's 24 hours, right? And you know how people say, who's your 2 a.m. friend? Like, bro, 2 a.m. you should be sleeping, bro. You know, what are you talking about, 2 a.m. friend? So ja, bhai. You know, wake up at 7, 8 o'clock and like start hustling, bro. You know, and then people are like, let's go cafe, let's go eat food. I don't hang out in cafes. I've never gone on vacations. I never travel if I don't have either a course to do or work. Like 8 hours sleep, that's 16 hours, right? 2 hours, 6
4
hours,
hours for
14 hours.
exercise in your training.
In my training, but if I'm let's say if I'm outside the country, then at least an hour and a half goes into training, so that's another hour and a half, and you get ready, blah 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 blah. You still have like at least 12 hours in your hand, right? Or 11, whatever. So out of those 11 hours, at least 6 hours should go into learning something, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, like 5 hours. You can hang out for 5 hours. Kitna time do you know, for hanging out? So like I can't just go and hang out. It just makes no sense to me. It's a big waste of time. So I guess my way of living is that you know, everybody's got only that much amount of time, right? All of us, you, me, everybody, and the way we efficiently use it is, I think, the most important. Like if I had my phone, I would show you, but I basically live on my calendar. Right, I know exactly every minute of my day where it goes, right? And I have 1,000 tasks on it, right? Whatever strikes my mind is on it, and I keep shifting. And I put people's name on it. 20, 40 people every day I get in touch with, right? Those 40 people, whoever messaged, and I shift them on those days. The meeting, I set them on those days, and I move them ahead. Next day I have 40 people. So it's a repeat process, you know, and there's really no time. If you can do all this and still have time, then dude, you're amazing. But like really, there's no time. And I'm not even talking about after Heeramandi. I'm talking about the last 12, 13 years. I've lived on my calendar, right? I count my time, right? So even if I have to like give something where I'm recreational time, right, to friends, then it will always be like, okay, fine, 1 hour. 1 hour is you know what I mean? Like, how much can you talk? Right? Like, that's all. So I think that people always think of me like being very, the thing that I do get, I can't spend time like that. It makes me feel, and they're like, you don't chill, you're a machine, you're this. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, man, whatever works for you.
Yeah. So how was the first Cannes experience?
It expanded my dreams. Yeah, my dream now is to, of course, this year was a big year for all of us. Winning a lot of things at Cannes, fantastic. But I do want my film, the Indian film, to be on the opening night of Cannes. Now that is a dream that should be made, that should come true. Of course, Cannes is a beast, right? It's a beast. Right? You walk in, there's 70,000 people walking left, right, center, up, down. It's like people, right? And when I went there, I went there with one person from my team, and I tried to hustle as hard as I could, right? And I could manage about 300, 400 contacts in about 5-6 days, which was okay, it was great, right? But I still couldn't visit all the pavilions, I still couldn't visit all the markets, I still couldn't, I didn't watch any movies. So I've decided that next time I go, I've already set up like my team of 10, 12 people.
Okay.
So next time we go, we'll win Canada and come back.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all about the hustle. Really, it's all about the hustle. And everybody's willing to talk to you. You just really have to go out there, be shameless. Make your way into parties, make your way into variety, deadline, make your way to screen, make your way. And I was roaming around, I was handing my cards out to people, and and then a lot of people who also came and took photographs and recognized me as Taha, blah blah blah, which is all great. I love it. But they're like, why are you doing this? You're like, you've done such an incredible job. You've already everybody knows you. Then I'm like, that's done. You know what I mean? I mean,
You have to move forward.
in your heart and in your mind, you should always be a newcomer. You should always approach your career as you're a newcomer, right? And not that you become something. Because if you think that you become something, then that's your downfall, right? So,
Absolutely right.
so I believe that the hustle is real, and you've got to hustle hard. And they're like, you're acting like a newcomer. I said, because I am. What has happened has happened, but now I have bigger dreams. Now I have, now I want to make collaborations with countries happen. And then I was in their pavilion so much that people started calling me because I was everywhere. I was the only the Indian dude who was everywhere. So they're like, you're like representing India. I'm of course I'm representing India. I'm the face of Bharat, and that's the goal.
That's amazing. More power to you.